Hello, I'm Nelson Hill, Electronic Service Team Leader here at Yalabo USA. Today we're going to demonstrate how to install a FlexiRack onto one of our newer Prestos, the W58x, which is a specialized unit, has a high pressure pump capable of 80 psi and can withstand high viscosity fluids. The FlexiRack allows you to control the flow to your external application to a precise liter per minute flow rate versus just being able to control the pressure going out. So the first step in installing the FlexiRack will be to remove the lifting hooks in the rear of the W58x. Next, you'll have to open up your accessory bag for the FlexiRack and remove the two attachment screws and nuts. The screws need to be removed from the nuts, and the nuts will be threaded in where the lifting hooks were, and just snug them down with a wrench. Next step will be to remove the caps off of the pump connections using a 46mm wrench. And you may have some fluid come out when you loosen the lower cap. You'll need to remove the holding nuts from the lower mounting screws before attempting the installation of the rack. We're just going to lift it up and set it on top of here. As you saw, you'll need an assistant to help lift it onto the unit. And then you'll need to secure the screws through the mounting tabs into the nuts that were threaded into where the lifting hooks were. Next step will be to put the securing screws at the bottom end. There are holes in the chassis that the screws will thread into on each side of the unit. Then your next step is to install the pump connections and secure with the wrench. Now we have it physically secured. Next steps will be to do the electrical installation. In the accessory kit, there will be a module This needs to be installed in the front of the unit. The module is going to be installed here, but you're also going to need to keep in mind this connection because this goes to the flow meter. That cable is already attached in the back. So first, you're going to need a T20 driver to remove the screws holding the cover plate. Keep the screws for reuse. Now we're going to remove the module. There are slots in the top that you want to get the metal plate on, and then slide it in and then seat it into the connector in the rear. And you're going to reuse the screws to secure the module in the unit. Next, you'll have to do the electrical connections from the flow meter and the flow controller to the connections in the front of the unit. So there's going to be some wire ties securing the cable for the flow meter that you need to remove. And you'll have two cables here. One is a power cord for the flow meter. It needs its own separate power. In this case, it's a 115 volt cord. And then the other is the connection cord that gets routed around the side and into our flow pressure measurement connection in the front. Packed in the accessory bag will be another cable. This is a CAN bus cable. This connects between the flow controller which is the lower unit. And there are arrows on the outside of the connector that help you line it up, and they just push in. This also gets routed around the side. And this will connect to the module that you installed. So the arrow is there, and then there's an arrow at the top of the connector. So you align the arrows, push the connector in. Then you can close the electrical connection access panel and reinstall the lower front panel. There's 2 pins down on the bottom that it sits on, and then push it in against the magnets. So that is how to install the FlexiRack onto your W58x Presto chiller. And again, this controls the flow going to your external system. So you can cycle the flow to different flow rates rather than just pressure. Thank you for watching.